Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hello from a very cold and wet and snowy UK today. Overnight the heavens have opened and I've covered everywhere in a thick blanket of snow. It's lovely. It's cold, but it's lovely. So I'm not going out today, I'm going to stay in. So I recently purchased a canvas. So this is a cotton canvas from Winsor and Newton. And it's 6 inches by 12, which is a bit of an unusual size for me. Usually I've done A4 canvases or 8x8 canvases or A4 canvases. I've already said that. Possibly. Sorry, I've got hair. That's better. I think it's gone. Right. So with it being long and tall, I thought I would have a play about doing a tall, thin canvas today. So let's open that up. Does it say whether it's pre-gessoed? Water resistant, pigmented gesso prime, I guess. There we go. So lovely 6x12 canvas. So what I've done is earlier on Ian wanted to cast some bits and pieces for himself. So I grabbed one of the Prima moulds, one of the Finnabair ones, I think. Which is the butterflies with the cogs and the gears, and also dragonfly with the cogs and the gears, and I cast some. So I've cast some of the mechanical insects from the Prima marketing redesign mould. I can't remember the exact name of the mould, but I'll put it on the screen. I'll do a bit of research and put it on the screen for you. So that's that one. So it's got the dragonfly and the butterfly with the cogs and things in it. That's what I'm going to be using for the project. So while we've got the resin casting stuff out, Ian's also done a few bits and pieces for his projects as well. So waste not, want not. So I couldn't remember the name of the mould downstairs, but I can up here. It's the Insecta. Yeah, Insecta, mechanical dragonfly and butterfly. So I'm going to use those on my canvas today. But also, I've got a little MDF laser cut, which has been done as a prototype. Let me turn over to the overhead camera and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the bits and what I've got to play with today, if you know what I mean. Okay, so this is it's chicken wire. But it's laser cut from 2mm Medite, not MDF, but Medite. Medite is the low formaldehyde version. And I also did an 8x8 version while I was able to. Hoping that's going to stay in focus. That looks a bit like it's, with the shadow, it looks like it's gone out of focus, doesn't it? But I'm not going to use the 8x8 piece. I might use the 8x8 piece today. But this was like a prototype. It was actually the 6x6 version that I wanted to see whether or not I could do as a product. 8x8 is going to be rather difficult to transport unless I did the larger pattern as a 6x6. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comment section below whether you like the larger version or the smaller version, but the larger version in the smaller size, as in that size, but just cut to 6 inches. So it'd probably stop there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd probably be that bit by that bit there. Anyway, I'm sure you'll let me know. So I'm going to use this now because it's been cut on 2mm. It means that I'm able to cut it with a pair of scissors. It says there they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do it so that it's coming in from the side. And I'm not being particularly too careful about where I'm cutting. So that should theoretically drop off now. So I've got a nice kind of piece up there, then I've got this huge piece down here. But we don't want to use all of that. I only want to use some bits. Okay, so we've got that. So I'm going to just take it across here a bit. So let me remove that bit there, that bit there, that bit there, that bit there, and that bit there. So I've now got those other two pieces that I can use. So I could, theoretically, also incorporate a piece in the middle there, or maybe just a bit there, like so. Get rid of that piece. I'm not 100% sure about what I'm going to be creating today, so this is going to be a bit of a free form. I kind of know ish where I want to go, but I'm not 100%. I now want to use these, but I'm not sure whereabouts on the canvas I'm going to put them just yet. I have got some other bits and pieces, as you can see, from my collection and my stash, the cogs and roses and flowers and that kind of thing. So, and also for ease of use, I'm going to be using the hot glue gun primarily to stick some of the items down. But I can put these down using Slap It On. Let's see if I can find the right container. Knowing me, I've probably tidied it all away because I'm useless. This doesn't make for good viewing, does it? I failed to prepare, yeah, and all that. Oh. It was there. I'd put it out after all. Right. I'll try and get the lid off now. There we go. Not as strong as I once was. Okay, so I'll just get a little bit of this. I'm just going to put it down directly onto the canvas. Now I don't mind if there's some texture showing through on this, because it will appear behind the chicken wire pieces, which is alright. And also if I just drop some on top like that, that's okay too. And then we'll just put some of this down here. So don't forget, this gel medium is a glue when all said and done. So that can go there like that. Technically, actually, it should go like that, shouldn't it? Keeping the pattern going. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll just scratch some of that over here. Corners, edges, up there, up this side. I think actually that will do, that will hold. Just like that. Make it a little bit more kind of like organic. I don't want to go too thick with the glue because sometimes it doesn't dry underneath as quick. If you've got a lot of this gel medium, obviously the surface will dry quicker than what's underneath. So that'll do for that, but also what I might do is I might just drop in a little bit of this just to get a bit of additional texture through that quatrefoil stencil. Also, just for a little bit of variety, maybe just a little bit at the top there. Don't need a huge amount. drop that in some water and I'll go and clean off the stencil and then I'll be right back. Okay, so that's going nowhere, so that's kind of stuck down quite nicely. So what I want to do now is start building up a little bit of a composition on the canvas. So start mirroring some of the shapes. So like I said before, or like I've said before, it doesn't matter about the colour of your MDF pieces, your resin pieces, because we're going to paint over everything anyway. This is really, really tacky. Tacky as in it's sticky. So try and put that one up there, I think. I'm just mindful of where I want the dragonfly to go. Out there, and then the butterfly can go a little bit further raised up, so that can go like so, up there, and then maybe a smaller one just under that corner. That should hold quite nicely there. Now I wanted to put just something else. Maybe just raise that up a little bit. Up there. And then I wanted to put something like this in the middle. That's not really touching under there, so let's put another one. Yes, that's going to fit nicely. Like that. And then we've got like this little plaque that I can tuck under there. And I've got this kind of label thing which I'm going to glue onto there like so, and then we can start infilling with some flowers and some smaller, can't really use those half cogs. What else have we got? We've got that there. I'm liking this bit here, but this bit up here is not doing it for me. Not at the moment. So let's try and raise him up there. And have we got another cog from the collection? We have. There we go. Something like that. And then something for that to sit on. I've got my big tub of bits, which is what you can hear rattling. There, like that. Yep, I like that a lot, so I'm not really going to use any of those for now. When my friend Karen came recently to the house, she brought one of the moulds, and it's this huge Christmas decoration. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm ever going to get to use that one. Who knows? What's this down here? I'm just spotting. Looks like a key. It is a key. I think we'll have that in there somewhere. What do you think? Yep, I think I like that. Right, so what I need to do now then is start gluing things down using the old hot glue gun, because the other stuff is not going to dry in time. So let's just manoeuvre everything out of the way and just start adding some globules of glue down. So I'm not particularly bothered about strings at this stage. Because they can all come off later. Brill. That's just right there, I think. So we'll add a big splodge there and a big splodge there. And they can go in just like that. And then this in the middle there. So this little label that you can see here is actually a cast from a silicone mould I made from some of the Tim Holtz foundry tags or machine tags. We've got a full set and got some silicone, casting silicone, and actually took a mould from the casts that he sells for own personal use, of course. I'm not about to go start selling them. Right, so just have to make sure get everything in the right position and make sure I've got enough glue. We notice I've not gessoed anything either at the moment. That's fine. Just lots of glue. Lots and lots of glue. Right, let me do the larger one. See, if I weren't filming this project, I would have used the gloss gel medium. But because I am filming the project, I can't really afford to wait for the time that it takes to actually set. So I've just got to be really quick. Didn't need that other one. Didn't need it. So which means it felt like it fell on the floor then, but I'm sure I'll find out what it was later. Right, so that's the bottom part of the canvas stuck down. So now I just have to lift Mr. Dragonfly off and we can start just lifting the individual pieces up. And then sticking them back down again. I really ought to invest in a new glue gun. Now, where did we say that was going? About there, wasn't it? Okay. Right, was that it? Like so there. I think so. Let's just move that out of the way. Right, so let's put some on the tail. Okay. How many glue sticks I've gone through on this already? It's obviously going to need more. And then, don't feel like I'm with it today. There we go. That little key can sit there. Right, I think that's what I keep dropping on the floor. It's my glue sticks. They keep falling out the back. Right, I could do with a brand. I was saying I could do with a new glue gun. Right, I think that's all the pieces stuck down onto that canvas. Don't think there's anything else. Alright, what I'm going to do now, just spend a few minutes just grabbing a brush, and I'm just going to go around removing all those strings that I can see. I'm just testing each of the items just to make sure that there's no give or flexibility. Make sure that they are all stuck down. I'll grab my tweezers so that I can get in and nab some of those strings where they shouldn't be. Do a bit of tidying up, and then I'll be back in a second or so, as far as you're concerned anyway, to start adding. Okay, so I think I've got all of the strings. I have added a little bit extra as well. I've added, just scattered around, some screw heads, another couple of cogs, but also I've added in a couple more of those little label plates just to kind of give it a bit more of that mechanical kind of feel to it, that industrial kind of feel to it. So I'm probably won't have got all of the strings because you can't necessarily see every single one all the time. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to bring out my clear gesso. Actually no, we'll do white gesso. We'll use Dina Wakley white gesso. And I'm going to go over the entire of the canvas with a coat of white gesso. So again, this is probably going to take the longest time because it just does, because you've got to go around everywhere, and I'll probably end up also giving it a couple of coats just to make sure that I've got a nice even coating everywhere, and then I'll join you when I'm ready to start adding the first real layers of colour. Okay, so I've turned the canvas on its, well, on a tilt, so you can pretty much see all of it. I think that's getting most of it in anyway. That's pretty much dry now. I've just put it onto some paper towel while I was kind of drying it. So it's had 2 or 3 coats of gesso. Some of the areas are still a wee bit wet, but not enough for it to spoil what I want to do next. Right, so I've got some new inks. So we've got Dalerowny acrylic artist inks. These were recently sent to me in Happy Mail. Just trying to pull the right colours out that I want. So that looks like a nice browny colour. There should be an ochre colour in here somewhere as well. It does say on them somewhere what the colour names are, but I'm rubbish. So anyway, let's just start off with that orange, that green colour first of all. So I'll just give that a bit of a shake up, and then these come with little pipettes. So what I want to do is I want to start just dropping in some of that colour around the canvas. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a spritz. With some more water. Okay, that's where the fun begins. Okay, look at that, just suddenly start to come to life. So I'm going to run it backwards and forwards, up and down. Just let that run into the background. Already, look, it's starting to come to life. Look at that. So I'm going to tip it a little bit and then just I think what I want to do is just add a little bit more right at the very top up here. And then just drop it into that canvas bit there. There we go. And then I'm just going to keep on turning it, letting it run in every which way it wants to. And then across to the bottom. And look at that, it's beautiful. Just allowing it to do its own thing. I don't mind about the runs coming down the edges either. In fact, I just think that adds to it. But look at that. Just look at that for the first coat. Okay, so let's get that dried off. Okay, so that's the first flush of colour. So the next one, raw sienna, we've got next. So I'm now going to start adding that to the items. Just start flooding some of the areas. because we want the colours to kind of start to blend and mix. Trying to make sure I've got some colour pretty much everywhere. Okay, so again, this time and then we'll lift up and let it start to run down again. And then I'm going to just drop it back down like so. I mean, there are some areas, obviously, that it's going to collect and pool because of the raised sides with the chicken wire and that kind of stuff. So we've got the, just put the lid back on there for a second. So that was antelope brown, which actually looked more greenish to me. But while that's still a little bit wet, if you wanted just to add a couple of little droplets in, like in the middle of those flowers, sometimes you might just want to add a little bit of colour. That's it. Just to bring some of that colour back to the front again. So again, tip, and drop. And then you can either just sit and let it dry on its own, or you can encourage it. Okay, so that was the raw sienna, and we've had some of that antelope brown, which I think looks more green than anything else. So what I'm going to do now, just introduce some more green. This time it's more greeny green, if you know what I mean. So this is called sap green. So again, I'll just take a little bit into the pipette, and I'm just going to drop it down. Now, why isn't that pipette working? That's the one. Right, so we'll just start adding some real deeper flushes of green in there. I'm hoping this is going to give it a little bit more of a pop of colour than just that antelope brown. Don't mind the fact that I've got to keep adding more water to activate the colour each time we add the colours, and keep drying. It's no different to any other project. 10% work, 90% dry time. There we go. That's brought more of that green colour out. That's better. Liking that. Okay, so that's the sap green dry. So what I want to do now is add in a few colour pops. So this is scarlet. So all I'm doing is just adding some, just a few drops on each of the flowers. Okay. It might look like they've been splattered with blood, but they haven't. Alright, let's see if I can just transfer some water into a different spritz bottle. And then there we go. That's just going to add a little bit of warmth. It's gone off a little bit too much there. I'll do, I think. Okay. Okay, so that red has kind of dried now. So what I want to do is just add a bit more colour now, just to kind of like the wings of the dragonfly. Maybe just a little bit of colour, and also maybe just a little bit to the butterfly down here as well. And again, remember, we're going to spritz it a little bit with water just to kind of get it to blend and flow. So just a quick spritz. And then we'll just get it to tip and run and blend, and then that should settle down when it starts to dry. Okay, so that yellow on the wings and down here has dried. It's starting to look a little bit overworked now, so I'm actually going to stop and leave it till tomorrow so that it dries completely and utterly. I don't want it to be too oversaturated with water and with moisture, so I'm going to let it dry out completely and utterly, and then I can come back in tomorrow and then start adding some proper kind of gilding effects. So I shall see you tomorrow morning, but for you, of course, it's just going to be a few minutes or seconds. Okay, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. I'm not going to start singing. So I've got some Sizzix Gilding Wax from Sizzix Luster Wax 'Tis Gold. So I've got a short bristled stencil brush, and I'm just going to start brushing over don't need a lot to start picking up all those kind of gold effects. Now the labels that I put on I've done separately already, because if you do put them with a brush you're going to lose the writing that's in there. So I've actually gone over the top of those just with a tissue rather than the brush. But I did that before I started the camera rolling. But I'll show you exactly how I did it in a little while. So let's grab some more of that wax, work it into the brush, and then let's start brightening up. There we go. It just starts to lift everything. It was starting to look a bit overworked, so I thought, you know, knowing when to stop is a gift. So let's not squander it. So that's exactly what I did. Decided enough's enough last night and came back again to it this morning. There we go, that key. I may go over that key again with a copper. It's picking up everything, this brush. Almost kind of floods the area with the gold. So in this case, normally I wouldn't do that, but in this case I think it can stand it, because I just want that reflection coming back. There we go, look at that. You start to see that kind of metallic-y shine coming through. But what I want to do is not just have gold on this, but I also want to introduce a few kind of warmer tones with the copper as well. A little bit of lustre on them wings. Okay, so copper gilding wax or lustre wax. So that's the copper, that's the silver, that's the copper. So this is going to be a bit warmer. I'm going to use the same brush, it doesn't really make any difference. All that will happen is you'll just get a kind of bronzy tone to start off with, and then you'll start getting that warmer kind of coppery look. Yeah, you can see it's just starting to warm up a little bit. I think I'm going to stop it there. It's times like this when I wish I kind of had purchased some other metallic waxes, because adding something like a blue kind of colour on here I think would really help. And I could do it with I could do it with paint, but I don't want to, if that makes sense. I'd rather do it with the same kind of mediums. As soon as we're using wax, it would make more sense to use another wax. I think, look at the shine on that now. I think that is just about it. I don't think I want to do anything else with it. I could come back in with some white gesso, or even with some silver, just to give it a little bit of a highlight, but I think that'll be too much. Multi-metal maybe, but no, I think that's just about as far as I want to take this canvas today. So that'll do, that will do. So I'm going to leave it there. Job done. Let me just see if I can zoom out a little bit so you can get the full. That's just about the full canvas there, the full 12-inch canvas there. So, and you can see that shine on everything now. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me put this canvas together. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.